when I list a property, my wife will get a text message on a listing or a sale, but also my colleagues' wives as well. So if I've had a slow week and my wife's been getting messages from the rest of the sales team, if I get home early, she says, "Tim, what are you doing? Go out and list another property."
Wow.
So it's like a business coach at home.
Hey everyone, it's Tom Panos. I've got with me Tim Longmore. I've said it right?
That's correct.
Hey Tim, how you going?
Good, thanks Tom. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well it's a pleasure. So we've got a guy from a different background, a guy that came from Mercedes-Benz.
That's correct.
Been in real estate for 4 years, and you are on track to ride 850 to 900.
That's correct.
In gross commission.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, so Tim, just where are you from?
From Melbourne.
Yeah.
Out of eastern suburbs, from Mitcham.
Okay, Noel Jones.
That's correct, Noel Jones, Mitcham.
And what's your team look like?
So I've got Tyne and Carr, who's my buyer's agent. We've got Cassandra and also Jackie, who helps out at the open for inspection. So myself and a team of 3 as well.
Team of 3. Okay, Tim, can I ask you the question of your average price?
Yep, around the 750 mark.
750.
Yep.
Average commission?
Around the 2%.
Around 2%.
Yep.
You do VPA, obviously?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
big on that.
On average, your marketing?
Probably 6,000 to 8,000.
6,000 to 8,000. Okay. Tim, when you first got into real estate, give our viewers just your path. What did you write first year?
Yeah, so first year, 150,000. It was pretty tough making the adjustment from car sales where people would just come in to buy a product versus you actually having to go out and find business. That was the biggest challenge I had.
Yeah.
And also just getting my head around how this actually works.
Right. There's
so much advice from different people, trying to work out what was the right advice to get, to get the results. But 150 wasn't a great first year, but you sometimes feel like you've done your first year a few years over. But 150, that's what I wrote.
What did you do second year?
Second year, 220, so not a massive jump.
Yeah.
Again, probably still didn't really have a grasp on what I should be doing and where I should be spending my time best.
Okay, year 3?
Year 3, wrote 450,000.
Yeah.
So big difference there, put on a personal assistant, got some help, started getting some coaching and really started trying to improve the business.
Year 4, 800?
Yeah, be close to that 800 mark. Yeah.
Okay. What's your goal for 2015 calendar year, say?
$1 million is the goal, and I think when you're coming through the ranks, you've always got to be looking if I've got the right team to be able to do that. I think I do now. It's in the 4 years it's changed a little bit, and I think now I've got the right team. Just a matter about getting that momentum to get us there.
Okay, so the biggest things that my real estate agents always want to find out is how to get more listings. What are some of the tips that you can share in your early stages in real estate? What were you doing to get Tim out into the marketplace?
Okay, so one of the first things I did was actually just focus on giving really great service. So, when I started, I didn't have a great database, so I would find the people that had houses to sell and actually try and help them find a property, even if it was with another agent. I'd ring them before the other agent got on the phone because I didn't have the stock.
Right.
And the company I was working for at that time probably didn't have the premium homes, so they would go through the competitors' listings and they would get back in. So I thought if I could actually be on the front foot, ring them and say, hey, this property down the road listed by ABC Real Estate, you've got to get in and have a look at it. It got to the point where they just ring me and say, Tim, we bought through the other company, but we have to sell our house with you because you've followed us up and we want that service for our place if someone's going to be selling our home.
Okay, gold. World-class listing presentations begin when you start dealing with someone actually helping them to buy. So what you were doing is providing a service that is pretty much substandard in Australia, and that is buyer management, and going in there, creating raving fans. And what you're saying is they were so impressed as you as a realtor, as a real estate agent, sounded American there, realtor, as a real estate agent, that they actually turned around and said, handle our sale now.
Yeah, spot on. And going up against some experienced agents, and I think they were quite surprised. And your time in the business has got nothing to do with it. If you're enthusiastic, people will give you a chance.
Right. Okay, so let's talk about that. You're up against agents that have been in the business a lot longer, particularly in the early stages when you were new.
Yep.
So you're saying your enthusiasm was able to actually dilute the advantage that they had of experience?
Enthusiasm and also preparation,
Right.
Because I might only have 1 or 2, 3 listings at that time in my career where you're chasing for the month, so you can spend as much time as you can preparing for it, making sure nothing's missed, and people feel like you're going to give them that time. And I think people, sometimes in your career you get complacent. People, they may have been doing it, it's just another listing appointment, but people can tell that you really care about their property,
right.
and getting a massive price. I think that's...
Okay, can I talk about prospecting back then and prospecting today, what did your prospecting look like back then? So great buyer management.
Yep. So a lot of cold prospecting, ringing through streets, letter drops, ringing back old open for inspection campaigns, just generally dealing with people that I had never met before. So that was tough. To pick up the phone and ring people that I didn't know.
When you did you have a farm area?
I didn't have a farm area early on. Probably the first 2.5, 3 years of my real estate career didn't have a farm area.
Have you got one now?
Yes, I do.
How many homes?
There's 1,800 homes.
Okay, and tell me, what is the Tim Longmore farm area method? How do you work it?
Okay, so each week there's 200 direct, what we call price drive letters that go out. It's direct mail. We found that had much better cut through than just being in the leaflets with the pizza menu and everything else. So
a direct mail is a letter that goes with a stamp.
Their name on there, and chances are they'll open it. And we've really made a big effort to make it a high quality looking document, relevant stats on their properties we've sold in the area, just our properties. So that goes out every week on a rotation through the streets. So even though there's 1,800 homes, I still every week there's probably 3,500 homes in that suburb. That's on a rotation each week. So 200 goes out. And then every quarter, every 3 months, we've got a mail house which actually sends out a quarterly report to that 1,800 on their suburb, what's happening, what's been sold, what's the highest, what's the lowest sale price. Is
that a more detailed report?
It is a more detailed report. It's a 2-page document. We're in the middle of reviewing that now, but that goes out again. I don't have to spend time doing that. The document's produced. It used to take a lot of the team's resource to print it off, fold it, stuff it. Early on in your career, you might not be able to afford that, but every time that goes out, there's always a listing that comes from it.
Okay, what about the letter? Your letters that you do 200 each week?
Yep.
Does that get you calls?
100%. I think I worked it out last year. About 150,000 GCIs come off running that farm.
Okay.
And it gets to the point where people will just ring your mobile direct. I've seen what you've been doing, but it does take time. I remember Matthew Scafidi in our office. He said you've got to give it at least 12, 18 months. And I think that's a problem where when I started, you give it 3 months, I'm sick of it, it's not working.
Okay, Tim, would you be kind enough as giving us one of those letters that we've got on our show notes?
Absolutely.
And what you're saying is don't expect that you're going to send this letter out and your world's going to change, but what you're saying is jab, 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 hook, which means give, and after a while people begin to realise that Tim is the actual go-to agent in this area.
Yeah, spot on. And it gets to the point where when you do go to an appraisal, we've had some that have had a manila folder and said, I've collected all your market reports for last time. And they're often testing you. They may get stuff in the mail all the time. We'll say, okay, this guy started. Let's see how long it takes before he drops off.
Right.
Oh, okay, he's building. So, like you're saying, your agent's hopefully selected before you're in the door. There's been some where we know there's no one else called in, and they're the listings you want because you get your full VPA and full marketing.
Okay, let's talk about listing presentations. Yep. So prospecting today. Do you do cold door knocking today or
no? I don't. So basically now I just work with clients I've sold for, open for inspection, probably more social prospecting around just sold and calling back through auction day callbacks. That's absolute gold. If there's someone just starting out and they don't have a lot on, and there's people that are writing big numbers in their office, I'd go and ask them for the auction day callback sheets.
So auction day callback sheets are all the people that came to an open?
Came to the auction day.
On the auction day?
Yeah, there's probably more gold in that than any of the other ones in my opinion.
Okay, so people that have come to auction day, you've got their names and details as they walk through the house. And what you're saying is call these people, and what do you say to them?
Just say, hi Tom, it's Tim from Noel Jones Mitcham, just a quick call. He came to the auction at 123 Smith Street. Just wondering, were you there out of looking at buying, selling, or just out of neighbourly interest?
Okay, gold. I love stopping things that I think you can execute. Call people that come to your auctions on auction day. Do you call them the day after?
Yeah, the Monday.
On the Monday?
Yep.
And the dialogue that you use is, hi, it's Tim here from Noel Jones. You obviously say your name, you know that. But what you're doing is asking, did you come because you're looking to buy, looking to sell, or out of neighbourly interest? Was that what you said?
Yeah, correct. Because if they say I'm just in neighbourly interest, oh great, do you live in the street? And I've often got this saying where I want to add contacts to the database, so even if they're not looking at selling immediately, they might say, I'm in Johnston Street. Okay, and I'll often say a number, just a wrong number. I'll say, you're number 10. Oh no, people always want to let you know they're right. I found that with Australians. So, no, I'm at number 5 because they want to let you know. So, okay, number 5, bang, put that on, get them in subscription, then they go into our marketing plan. So now they're going to get things from us.
Right.
So the job's to, one, find out if they're buying. If you can help them find something else, they might have a house to sell. There's a potential listing there. If they're a seller, often people go to look at auctioneers and teams before they select their agent. Or 3, you put them on the database, put them on the plan that you've got in place, and you might get a call in a year and a half time.
Okay, gold. let's talk a little bit about. So you do run an attraction business, you think?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. Okay, very much built around your current listings and the marketing of those listings to get you into more listings.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've invested heavily in video and print, and I have noticed a difference with some campaigns that don't have that print media now.
Right.
I think early on in my career, I still didn't have an issue selling marketing because I came from Mercedes-Benz, so they always had options and packages that you'd spec things up. But genuinely, if you have a good campaign, you notice not having that print media.
Okay. What makes you good at getting, and I know because you are a client of News Corp, and I know you take a lot of advertising with us, I'd like to let our viewers know why do you think you're good at getting VPA? What makes you good at getting vendor paid advertising?
I think the first thing is you genuinely have to believe it's the right thing for that property. I've been a seller myself and I've been through that process, and I just say to them, if I was doing it, this is what I would do. If you want to go a cheaper option, that's fine. But our job isn't here to come in and agree with you to get you a cheap marketing plan. I always explain and say, for that $10,000 campaign, and I'll often throw it out there early in the listing that you could spend up to $10,000, $15,000. So when it comes back to 5 to 7, it seems pretty reasonable. But if that brings someone on a day that spends another $50,000, $60,000, it might not even be the buyer, it might be the underbidder that doesn't buy it, that pushes them up. So it's really been an investment. I genuinely see it as an investment in the profits.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that dialogue. Investment in the profits, because it is a profit. It's tax-free, or if it's a family home. Tim, let's talk a little bit about what database you use.
So I use Box and Dice.
Yeah. Do you use it yourself, or your PA does it?
I use it sort of in its basic form. I don't want to be too up to speed with it because that's not where my highest and best use is. But yeah, we use it. We've got different categories, and yeah.
Okay. If Tim Longmore was meeting Tim Longmore on day one in real estate, what would Tim say to Tim now that you've had 4 years' experience?
Get a business coach straight away.
Beautiful. Get a coach, 100%. Get a mentor. They keep you accountable. What are the other values of having a coach?
They just keep you. I think sometimes you can feel a bit like the guinea pig on the wheel, just spinning, and you're not actually looking at the bigger picture. Why did I get into real estate? What am I doing this for?
Why did you get into real estate?
I saw it as the pinnacle of sales, in my opinion. I just loved the people at the top of their game, but also you can genuinely help people. If you get 50 or 100,000 above reserve, which isn't uncommon in this marketplace, that can change someone's life. And I was at an open the other week, and this guy pulled up in a brand new car and he's tooting at me. I thought, who's this guy? And it was my vendor that we'd sold for 4 weeks ago, and he got 50 grand above reserve. He goes, we went and bought a new family car.
Right.
And I thought, that's fantastic. That's why we do. Now that's why we do that. It's not about the commission. It's about actually when someone can, maybe stay home from not having to work, spend an extra year with their kids, pay off a mortgage, go on a holiday, buy a car. That's
beautiful. So get a mentor, get a business coach. Advice number 2.
I'd just say, prepared to work. I think some people...
Do you work hard?
I do work hard.
What are your hours?
I'd say I'm in at 8 o'clock and, not home by 7 most nights. Work sort of six days a week. So
you work every day?
Every day.
Sundays off?
Sundays off, unless, as we head through the spring market, we'll generally work Friday, Saturday, Sunday opens, just to be able to offer that to our clients. But
what do you do on a Sunday? What's your typical Sunday look like?
Sunday, probably go for a run in the morning, catch up with friends and my wife. We'll go out for breakfast, just take it easy. And
You look fit? Do you exercise?
Yeah, exercise a lot, and I think again that's probably important. I think your fitness has a big part of making sure you can perform and you don't feel lethargic at work. And I don't know, I just think about if you're doing that extra rep, or it's that extra phone call, or if this year I did a half marathon. I'd never run more than 5Ks in my life. Then I did a full marathon in October. So it just made me think, if you push yourself, push yourself in business as well.
Wow. So get a coach, a mentor, be prepared to work hard, getting in early, working harder, staying later, putting 6 days in. What would tip number 3 be?
I would say don't be afraid to pick up the phone and go and contact people that are doing really well. I remember when I wanted to improve as an auctioneer, picked up the phone. Matthew Young had just won the Victorian competition for Auctioneer of the Year. Went and had a coffee with him and did some training. Also Michael Troy. Anyone that's in your marketplace, in your state, pick up the phone. You'll be surprised. Many of them will be happy to give you their time and learn what's working for them.
Okay, gold. Tim, to our viewers out there, what other piece of intel, what other game changer, what other information you can give out there that you've learnt is important to be successful in real estate?
I would say have family buy-in from your partners or anyone that's affected by the hours that's required to do this job.
Right.
Make sure that you've got regular holidays booked. That could be every 6 weeks or every couple of months. But also include them in the activities you're doing. So in our office, when I list a property, my wife will get a text message on a listing or a sale, but also my colleagues' wives as well. So if I've had a slow week and my wife's been getting messages from the rest of the sales team, if I get home early, she says, Tim, what are you doing? Go out and listen to other property.
Wow.
So it's like a business coach at home.
So your wife is in the loop with the activity of what's going on in the office.
She'll say, Matthew's listed 2 this week. What are you doing? It's time to go out and get one, because she knows down the track it'll affect us at some point.
But Tim, it is an important point, because I think a lot of people in real estate do struggle with the fact that you're going to work long hours and you're going to be away from home, and if you don't have the support of your family, that you actually mentally get torn apart, because on the one side you're sort of saying I'm letting them down, but when they're actually on the same page, you're actually in partnership with your life partner in your business, aren't you?
Yeah, spot on. I just think it makes it that little bit easier that they're kept in the loop, and a couple of messages come back from time to time, well done, and they feel part of it.
Okay, Tim, I always want to leave the listeners and viewers with another piece of gold information. And 4 years from being in car sales to today being an $800,000 agent, what's the best piece of advice we can leave our viewers today?
I think if you want to earn professional money and have a great lifestyle, you need to be a professional and stop the self-doubt and all the things that you might tell yourself. Just make it happen and get organised and have a crack. Okay,
Tim, it's been a pleasure having you on here. We're going to follow your career. I think a lot of people are excited to hear that you can be on a way to $1 million in less than 5 years, selling homes at an average price of $700,000, not having to be living in a $2 million marketplace, and that you can go off and do it. I want to thank you very much, and I want to thank you for sharing your letter to help get listing presentations. It's been great having you on the show.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Between 12 p.m. and 6 p.m, I'd be knocking on doors, and I don't care if it was raining, it was hailing, it was 40 degrees, I was out there knocking on doors. I bought myself some rubber-soled shoes from Clark Rubbers, and you might feel like a loser, and I felt like a loser at that time, but I just went knocking. And I went knocking, and I just kept knocking.
What kept you motivated?